Hi everybody, I'm afraid history is repeating itself. In 1980, when I was 7 years old, my mum wanted to take me to see Every Which Way You Can by Clint Eastwood. But when we got to the cinema, it was a double A certificate, which means you had to be over 14 to watch it. So, I can't remember whether we watched something else or went home. Anyway, move forward to 2022, my little boy's 5, and this coming Saturday, my wife's out, and I said, come on, let's go and watch a big boy's James Bond film. Now, before you criticise me for taking a 5-year-old to a James Bond film, I'm very careful about what he watches, and I very much restrict what he can watch at home, and any films such as Bond films, I have watched before him. In case of Bond films, dozens of times. So I limit the films that I do let him watch, so it's mainly your Roger Moores and your early Bond films. But this Saturday I was going to take him to see Diamonds Are Forever. When I went on the website of my local cinema, View, it said it was a 12 certificate. Can he get in and watch a 12 certificate? So I looked it up, and on the BBFC website it said 12/12A, which is 12 with an adult. So I got in touch with View, and I'm not in any way having a go at View here, criticising them. The certificates are the certificates, and however out of date or irrelevant they are, they're the rules that View have got to work by. Anyway, I got in touch with View, and they said, yes, it needs to be 12. I said, well, isn't it a 12A? No, it needs to be 12. So I got even more confused after reading what was on a specialist children's BBFC website. So I actually got in touch with BBFC themselves. So the British form of film classification actually responded, and they were really helpful. The strange thing is, Diamonds Are Forever was last certified for cinema release in 1971. And it's still an old A certificate. It's never been recertified. And BBFC went on to say that it can't be shown on another certificate because they've not issued it. And 12 doesn't exist for cinemas. 12 is for home releases. And Diamonds Are Forever, for bizarre reasons, and I listened to a podcast from BBFC, said some of it was inappropriate. And I think the main thing is when Connery strangles Marie with her bikini. You know, I'm not condoning violence against women, but it's a Bond film from the 70s. It's not real, folks. It's pretty much a cartoon. And they said that 12 can't be applied to cinema screenings, only home video. And 12A is the appropriate certification for cinema. If it was a 12A, I could take him. But because it's a 12, I can't. Now, BBFC went on to say that the local authority might certify it as a 12, which is completely out of their control because BBFC's certification role is to certify films on behalf of the local authorities who license venues. All very old-fashioned, all very out of date. And I've got a very disappointed little boy on my hands. But I will make it up. I'll take him to see another Bond film, probably The Spy Who Loved Me, because he loves the Lords of Spree underwater. And he loves pyramids as well. But it makes you think that, you know, you might think I'm completely irresponsible letting a 5-year-old watch a Bond film. I wouldn't let him watch Licence to Kill or anything that comes after that in terms of Bond films. And I am very restrictive of what he can watch. Our rule of thumb at home is if it's got a red dot, which means it's a 12, 15 or 18 certificates, he can't watch it unless I say so. I won't let him watch 15 certificates. I definitely won't let him watch 18 certificates, and they are all, you know, players are, you know, age locked, and all the horror DVDs are on a shelf that he can't reach. But you think, you know, so criticise me if you want for letting a 5-year-old watch an old Bond film. But I do, protect him. I'm very careful about what we have access to at home. The ironic thing is, he could go to a child's house and they could be playing a really horrible graphic computer game, which, you know, I don't let him play those computer games because I don't I don't like those computer games myself. But it just makes, you know, some of the certification is rather not hypocritical. I know BBFC provide a role and they do protect some consumers, but at this fine line, especially when you get to 12A, and really should it be a 15, or are the studios exerting pressure? Not for me to say. I'm not a film certification expert. So personally, I like BBFC certificates to be a guide to me as a parent. Yes, 15 and 18 children shouldn't be allowed in. But this whole business where something's been, and I've asked View Cinema whether they'll change the rating. They've not got back to me. They got back to me quite quickly saying you can't go and watch it on Twitter, but they won't, you know, comment on it any further. So there they are with an incorrect film certificate that's caused my little boy a lot of. He's not upset. He's disappointed. I know in what's going on in the world, it's quite minor, but you know, I watched something that may be a 12A certificate, and you think, why is that not a 15? You know, what really annoyed me with No Time to Die, M uses the F word. Now, sorry, the F word has no place in a Bond film. And I know Ian Fleming said Bond films were not for adolescents, they're for adults, in terms of the novels. But come on, you know, to me, I want the Bond franchise to go a little bit more retro in terms of fun and style. And yes, apart from Question of Sport, Quantum of Solace, we've all enjoyed the Daniel Craig era. But I think Bond should go back to be more family viewing. You know, the classic Connerys, the classic Roger Moore films, unbelievable entertainment. And, you know, the way, the more I watch No Time to Die, the more I dislike it. I come out of the cinema quite liking it, thinking, yeah, apart from the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes, I enjoyed it. But on repeated viewings on Blu-ray, yes, the 4K HDR on my TV looks gorgeous. But on repeating viewings, I like the film less and less and less. And when M drops the F-bomb, why? Why is there any need for that in a Bond film? There's no need for it. So, some of the certification for historic films, just be careful of. It really caught me by surprise that Diamonds Are Forever, I own it on Blu-ray, I never even noticed it said 12 on the box. Ironically, another cinema 5 miles away has it as PG, but they're not showing it. They're showing it later on next Tuesday, which is way, you know, far too late in the evening to watch it. So you've got two cinemas probably 10 miles apart. One's got a 12 certificate, one's got a PG. The PG is probably more correct because they've probably applied the old A rating. If it's the local council licensing authority, they're both in the same local authority, so they should both have the same certification. So it's completely bewildered me. It really has. You know, it's a minor piece of trivia, but it has reminded me of that AA certificate for Every Which Way You Can back in 1980, where little old Dave was disappointed. Now, you know, my little lad is disappointed. Oh, so well, I will make it up to him Saturday night. We'll do something really nice, and we will go and watch a Bond film. I'd really like to take and see The Spy Who Loved Me. So, any thoughts, anybody, about old BBFC ratings? You know, it gobsmacked me that the BBFC said the rating still for Diamonds Are Forever is the old A rating. It's never been recertified since 1971 for cinema release. I really don't understand the system, so if anybody can explain it to me, how old films are certified today, please explain it to me, because I've had a bit of a head scratching this week. And you know, the BBFC say 12/12N. They make it very clear that 12 certificate is for home releases. She's fine, I understand that, but why view of, or else it is local authority? You know what? I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. we're all disappointed. I was really looking forward to taking him to a Connery film. Didn't get a chance for the previous releases. As you saw in my last Bond video, I went to see On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was stunning at viewing Southport in 4K on the big screen. So, hey ho, so is life. We'll still have a good Saturday night. I've got a feeling we're going to watch Goldfinger on Blu-ray, which I'll enjoy anyway. So it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say about the certification of Bond films. Yes, some have been heavily cut. License to Kill was butchered to death for home video release, and thankfully now we can see it in its true form. And yes, I think a 15 certificate is correct for that. But Diamonds Are Forever, 12, and I heard this podcast from BBFC specifically explaining why Diamonds Are Forever is a 12, and I don't know. The film was made in 1971. It's cartoon violence. It's not the best Bond film anyway, so I'd rather, in hindsight, I'd rather take him to see The Spy Who Loved Me than Diamonds Are Forever. So anyway, that's my complete mystery explained. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to continue being bewildered with this for quite a while.